party, actually, with one of my friends. Actually, my friends that came up to visit me. I was over at Cedar Village over the summer, and we went to a party, and we just had some fun, and the next morning I drive home. And, like, my aunt brought her sick nephew, and he had a cold. I thought I had a cold. And then I get a call from one of my friends saying, oh, you may have swine flu. And I'm like, well, that's fine, whatever. I'm like, okay, I don't really think I have it because, you know, my nephew had a cold, whatever. So I wake up next morning with a fever of 101. I'm like, okay, maybe I should go get tested. And I go call the doctor, let him know that I've been exposed to swine flu. And the same doctor that treated my friend, who tested my friend, said, you know, it's all hype, but we're just going to give you some Tamiflu anyway and talk to your friend, like, to make sure that, you know, he'll be your confirmation.
Today, we're learning a lot more about ethical tightrope that doctors may have to walk in the latest flu surge. And if models are correct and hospitals become overwhelmed with patients, there's going to be a lot of decision making. And that's what we're talking about today, the rationing of care. Right now, 41 states are reporting widespread H1N1 and seasonal flu, and among them, Florida, which is working on its doomsday pandemic scenario. Because even with a mild outbreak, forecasts show that some hospitals there could be hit with 80% capacity. Others could exceed 200% capacity. Joining me right now from Philadelphia, Dr. Arthur Kaplan, director of the Center for Bioethics at the University of Pennsylvania, and I guess Art and Dr. William O'Neill. Also joining me, and Dr. O'Neill, I hope you're there. There you are. Let's just sort of put everybody's cards on the table. The words rationing are basically triaging, and aren't we smart if we plan ahead? Art, I'm going to let this start with you, because certainly to me it brings up the idea of crises and Katrina.
Well, I know we don't like to talk about doomsday scenarios, but we do know that they can occur. Katrina was a horrible reminder that medical services can be pressed to the limit, and you may have to make some hard choices about who you can care for when your power is out, when you've got no more ability to get electricity into a hospital, and things are basically going downhill fast. An outbreak of dangerous pandemic swine flu, or for that matter, a terrorist attack, we would be foolish if we didn't start to lay in some plans and some guidelines in advance, knowing we may not have the ability to treat everybody who we may want to treat, but we may have to make hard choices. So absolutely got a plan. And
Dr. Neal, I guess for people outside of medicine looking in, it seems like human beings are making decisions that only God should be making. But that in reality happens every single day, doesn't it?
We make a lot of hard choices, Nancy. I mean, transplant is a perfect example of that. Who gets listed, who gets prioritized. So, unfortunately, on a day-to-day basis, in the era of limited resources, where you have to try to figure out the risk and the benefit for different patients, we are making those hard choices. I would say, and I would agree with Art, that imagining the unimaginable has to be done by planners. Nobody would have conceived that 19 people would simultaneously commit suicide, but in fact, that's what happened on 9/11. So I think these the exercises that the state is undergoing actually are a very good idea to help us really to try to understand and plan for some cataclysmic event.
It's a pretty serious problem.
I think it's overrated.
Ooh, don't say that. My dad almost died. Legit, he had it. He was stuck in New Zealand all summer long in the IC unit, so I kind of had a close encounter with it. So I think it's pretty serious.
How long did it take for him to recover?
He left for New Zealand on July 4th, and then he got diagnosed mid-July. Didn't come back until the end of September. So he was gone for all July, August, and September, 3 months.
And now he's fine?
He's not fine. He's still really weak. He gets tired really easily, but I mean, after a while of like working out, healthy eating and stuff, he should be back to normal.
I'm sorry, I really don't have an opinion on this.
I don't know how dangerous it can be.
No?
I think they're just making a big deal about it. Because if they mention one person, that person tells another person, then it becomes an epidemic. So if it just like, say it's like, just keep the people who have it to themselves, it'd be better and for them to keep themselves away from people who don't have it. Because then if they continue going around with it, then everybody's going to end up having it here.
Thank you.
I'm really nervous about it, actually. I think it might actually be, it's like scary. I don't know. I think it's bad. I think it's because the way the media is portraying it. It's portraying it as something that's pandemic and something that's going to like infect a lot of people.
Norovirus is something that's way worse than what the swine flu is, because I guess, I don't know, it's airborne or something and it freaks a bunch of people out. Last year, a bunch of people at Shaw got sick, like really, really sick. Like 9 people went to the hospital, and apparently they thought something happened at the cafeteria if they saw maybe someone tampered with the food. So they switched out the cafeterias and had, instead of you serving yourself, people served you. And they changed all the cafeterias around, and apparently it was norovirus or something like that, which knocked out Hope College earlier last year. And it's kind of common on college campuses for some reason, but it's really bad this time